Greetings, wayward travelers. Come on in, take a seat, and welcome to the Ecriom Expeditions. I'm your dungeon master, Logan Hanley, here to spin you and the adventurers you see here before you a yarn through the lands of Ecriom. Before we continue into the next stage of our current adventure, a few shoutouts, a few pieces of sponsorship information, and then we'll get on with the show. Brianna Flame, amazing, talented creator. She does overlays, she does photography, she does some digital work now. Check out Brianna Flame for any of your graphic design or photography needs or overlays, because she did these as well as some others that you'll see on the channel at some point. Next, Esoteric. He's the cartographer extraordinaire who's responsible for bringing my homebrew world, the Lands of Ecriom, that you can see behind me, to life. Check out Esoteric for any of your map-making needs. Next, Del Borovic, the amazing artist who created the character art for the Barefoot Bandits, as well as some other stuff coming up in the new future at the turn of the new year. And then last but not least, Adrian von Ziegler partnered with Renee Beauregard for all of our background needs. Adrian von Ziegler is an amazing composer. Renee Beauregard, also amazing composer and ukuleleist. I don't know what that would be considered, but he's good at strumming a ukulele. Next, don't give me that look. No, damn it. Try to be serious. This is a serious channel, but serious actors. No, I'm kidding. On to sponsors: Dragon Rock RPG Design, Daniel Lieberman, Renee Beauregard, bringing unique and creative content to the TTRPG community. Whether it is writing their own content or collaborating with other creatives, Dragon Rock's goal is to bring their extensive experience and expertise to any materials that they work on. Next, Umbral Oculus Dice. And I got like a bunch that are going to get blurred out by the camera, as always, because that's what happens. But Taryn's holding up the beautiful D20 that is going to be given away on tonight's stream. Enter the code BAREFOOT for your chance to win. Taryn is a purveyor of fine artisanal dice from beyond the veil. So check out Umbral Oculus Dice for any of your custom dice needs. Next, Adventures in 3D. You have... Oh no, what happened? Everything's fine. Get out of here. Why are you here? What did you do, Renee? I blame you. I guess cat's out of the bag, so I guess we can just do this. Hi. Oh no, I switched up the names. I gotta change that. All right, we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna change some things while they're.
It's an improv game. Everyone's gonna switch roles tonight. So
Professional
tonight I'm gonna be eating.
I got everybody except for Corvus and Professor Hale. Yeah, we're professionals here.
It's fine now. It looks like it's fine.
Last but not least, thank you, the initial. Oh, it's fine for right now. I gotta switch Corvus and Professor Hale now. Last but not least, thank you, Tio, for sponsoring us. I don't know why anymore. Tio, or the Initiative Order, is a collective of passionate TTRPG players, content creators, and performers that want to help the community thrive and grow. Their main goal, the main goal of Tio, is to explore and experience all types of gaming systems while creating an inclusive community for all of our players and viewers. Now, before we get on with the show, it's time for some character introductions, and we're gonna start this time with Eden.
Oh, this sounded like you were gonna do something different this time. Anyways, hi, I'm Taryn Hackett, also known as Valrook across the socials. I'm gonna try to do more rebranding just as Umbral Oculus, which is my moniker for my dice making and other projects in the works. But if you want to check out my dice, UO_dice on the Instagram. I have link in bio for my merch if you want to wear something with my logo on it, or check out my shop updates. Coming soon, I have 20 or more sets and about 20 single D20s that are going to be hitting the shop soon, so you definitely want to follow. I also have a big giveaway that I'm taking part in from Tabletop Crafter on Instagram. There are literally giveaways every single day of D&D goodies. All you gotta do is like and follow and stuff, so I definitely recommend checking them out as well. And I'm eating, and she doesn't know what's going on, but that's okay. So yeah.
Next, with the new overlay comes a new order of introductions. Perrin Hope Singer, Renee Beauregard.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Beauregard, and I'm one half of Dragon Rock RPG. You can find us at Dragon Rock RPG Design on Instagram and Dragon Rock RPG on Twitter. I'm gonna play that chord and just end that there. So you can find us creating 5e supplements for Dungeons and Dragons. We are hopefully trying to release our Rangers by December. There have been delays. Life happens. It's a thing that we endure on the regular. But we're gonna get there, and hopefully very soon we can get to you some new Rangers called the Lightkeeper, the Weave Guardian, and we are playing the intro.
Yeah, I did something on accident. We're good. Keep talking.
Got it. Cool. Just checking.
My bad.
This has been a stream, guys.
Yeah,
this has
listen.
been a stream.
Jay Casual here came in and changed, like, in the minute of something happened. He worked his casual magic and.
Fair enough.
No.
But yes, we are hoping to have the Lightkeeper, the Weave Guardian, and the Archaeologist very soon to you all on DM's Guild, where you can find all of our other creations, like our Warlocks, the Icons of Horror, where you can find our document about making your player characters into iconic horror movie villains, as well as our Barbarians. Come check us out every so often. Say hi. We'd love to collaborate with you all. And without further ado, little sister, it is on to you.
Oh, thank you, Perrin. Well, I'll get started, guys. Hi, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I am Utahime. I'm a cosplayer, streamer, and TTRPG performer. And if you are interested in all of my goofy shenanigans, please be sure to follow me at Utahime Cosplay, Facebook, Instagram, here on Twitch, where I occasionally stream a variety of games on my own channel, and Brianna DeCoster on Twitter. And I'm going to stop it there because I'll tell you guys later what I'll be up to for the rest of the week. But on to the bard with the most.
No, the art.
Most art.
Art. He's
Art?
He's
What?
a,
Oh,
he's a,
hi,
He's a
hi.
goblin artificer.
Oh.
No, but it's the
Yeah.
discount bard. The discount bard.
Oh, yes,
That
yes.
is
yes.
also
There we go.
Yes,
I didn't
indeed.
pick up on that. It's
Oh, his name.
Yeah,
Got it.
his
Yes.
name, not his.
You know,
Chaos. It's just pure chaos right now, guys.
I don't know.
it's quite all right. Thank you for that very uplifting introduction there. Hi everyone, I'm Eddie the Discount Bard. I'm a person. Hi. You can find me on Twitch and on the various social medias at Discount Bard, where we are spreading love, kindness, and friendship through laughter and good stories. I stream variety content. I'm also a voice artist, performer, and real-life jack-of-all-trades, master of none, and bringing to life a true Chaos Goblin today with Art the Artificer.
And next,
And-
our special person, individual, who I don't know what the fuck happened. I just turned and Renee and Jay are in two separate places, but Jay Casual.
It's because you said you were going to save me for later, and the internet will never allow that to be the case. I mean, what can I say? It's Jay.
It's Jay.
It's Jay.
Casual.
It's Jay.
You can find me on all social media at Just Too Casual and Casual Creativity on Twitch. Variety streamer, entertainer, voice actor, all things that make you go woo in a bardic way, I can do in many ways you couldn't even imagine. I do all kinds of creative things, that including the anime-inspired Deep Breath and another project that I am now working on that I can only hint that is inspired by the realms of Ravenloft, where you can get a spooky inspiration in the most casual of ways. So stay tuned for all those creative things, and I guess today I am a person whose name you can see to be Corvus. That's all I can say today.
And last, probably least as well. I'm kidding. I love you, Ronan.
It's called The Best for Last. And you did
Can you please elaborate? Good sir.
Yeah, I'm Ronan Fox. You can find me at Ronan Fox on all the socials, primarily Twitter and Instagram, where I'm kind of famous. And I'm not. And I am
He's
a
got
world
1,000
builder.
followers.
The best damn world builder this side of the Mississippi because there's like 2 of us. And I do that on Twitch, and I help people build their worlds while I build mine. And you can come check that out and hang out for inspiration and tips and advice and stuff. That's me.
Yeah.
Let's start whatever this is.
Well, shit. Fuck.
Jesus.
All right. Well, courtesy of Daniel Lade of the Initiative Order, which wasn't supposed to be tonight, but it now is because that's where we're at. The new intro featuring the Casualist of Campbell's character art on this episode of the Ecriom Expeditions.
What's a chaos?
What's a chaos?
You lost control. Oh,
We lost control. Yeah, we've lost control like 17
Less
minutes ago, guys.
control.
Forget off the rails. We're 3 miles down the mountain.
There's not even a track at
That's
this
true.
point. Welcome back, everybody.
What's the welcome?
Oh my god, I'm gonna murder you all.
I'm playing a wizard. I didn't mention that
Already.
before.
I'm a person.
We're purposely just throwing it worse. I'll say.
God, it's only gonna get worse.
DM intro.
Thank you. The party amongst the ruins of the Swagat campus of the Malfair Collective find themselves split. Eden, staring up at this ooze wizard from atop the remains of the campus tower, gives a quick call before barreling up the track to the summit on which the tower rests. Art, Thanara, Perrin quickly sprint to catch up, leaving Ripley alone in the former storehouse. Ripley scrambles past the dripping oblex spawns that are there, obtaining a potion and a scroll, before himself also getting infected with the host. Professor Hale rushes to rejoin the rest of the party as they reach the summit. They meet the mage, who converses with them briefly, breaking their ooze-like shell to warn the party of Aura's plan to infect the main Malthier Tower of Sarun. The Ublex assumes control again, and a bitter fight commences as more Ublex spawn emerge from the ruins of the tower. Spells are slung, bolts are shot as the party. God, there had to be one. Splingin. As the party dispatches the spawn and eventually the mage herself. Combat ended. The party quickly stabilizes the mage, trying to ensure that the Ublex spawn inside of her is dormant or gone. Questioning the mage, who vaguely remembers most of the accounts of what happened, the party finds the entrance of whatever remains lie beneath the tower. There they descend, as Perrin and Ripley begin hearing the words echoing through their heads. Follow the candles. And that's where we pick up. You guys descend down the staircase as it winds once, twice, 3 times.
Lady.
What?
Keep going.
Oh, okay. Descending several dozen feet before coming to a dark basement of a staircase, or of an entryway. Tables are knocked over and strewn about, carpet moldy, and you can smell hints of mildew seeping from the cracks in this basement of the basement walls. Yes, Eden, you had a thing you wanted to
Who
do.
went down first?
That is a good question. Let's resolve that. Who did go down first?
Yeah, and I was behind him.
That's right, and then I was behind them. Okay.
Anara would be right behind.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that Ripley was in front of Eden. Go ahead.
Oh,
I
great.
feel like Art was probably close behind Eden.
You said so it's a dark
was-
basement-y type thing,
Yes,
right?
it's pretty
Eden
dark.
will kick Ripley in the butt and knock him forward into the darkness.
Go ahead and make a strength check. Oh, but I'll handle that in a minute. Go ahead and contested athletics. Ripley, you can do athletics
Okay.
or acrobatics. I don't
Yeah,
think
those are
either of
great.
those are.
Yeah, those are both really good, right?
It's either a -1 or a 0. So, oh shit, I rolled 19.
Oh, okay, because the dice that I'm giving away rolled natural 20 tonight.
Dies.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So you kick Ripley, and Ripley begins tumbling down the stairs.
Not like knocking him down, just like trying to make him go down faster into the dark because I know that they can't see really well.
Actually,
So I'm like spooking.
give me a dexterity saving throw, Professor.
Oh
Hill.
shit.
Me?
I'm sorry if I killed you, Ripley. I'll bring you back.
The other Professor Hill.
Oh, shit.
Which one of you is out there?
Which one of you?
Okay, I am rolling great too. Just kidding. It sucked.
You stumble down the first set of stairs and do like a little half spin before your feet catch and you're able to right yourself.
Whoa! What are you doing? Could you like slow down? And he Perrin puts his hand on Ripley's tummy.
Apologies. Those who can't
should be more
speak
careful.
sort to physical violence.
You should be more careful walking down the stairs.
Eden, do you still have that little statue I gave you earlier?
Why do you need it?
Well, if it's dark down here, then if you shake it up, it'll glow, and we might be able to those
Do we
of us
have
who
to
can't
hit
see
it up
well can see
against
better.
anything first?
Well, you could if you want to, but I mean it's not necessary. And when you do that, it starts glowing in about a 5-foot range. Yep, exactly.
Look, here you go. Look. For those of you who can't see in the dark because you're inept.
I can see in the dark just fine, thank you.
I resemble
What?
that remark. Thank you very much.
Oh, well then here.
My brother gets a little sensitive when you mention the fact that he can't see, in the dark. So
I really thought it would be more about... Oh, no mind. That's fine.
Lead on,
Moving on.
Mr.
And he just kind of will snatch the little light
Little
thing out
nightlight.
of Eden's hand, and then give her a glare for a second, and then continue down the stairs.
As Perrin glares, she's just kind of like...
He continues.
Who is carrying, or who is anybody helping the mage?
The boob wizard?
The not.
Was our cleric you were carrying her, right, Fenor?
Because Finn's the only
Okay.
one really strong enough to do that.
Cool.
100%.
I have -1.
Really? Oh, then it really needs to be Eden and Art carrying the boob wizard. Yeah,
But I'm pretty sure that I was helping
What-
her.
what-
You got a lot of gumption, kid. I believe in you.
Eden will just kind of step forward. She notices as they're going down that Finn is she's assisting because Finn is just got the heart of gold, but Eden's
Roll
gonna come
for
over
Red
and
Bull. It gives
Yeah.
you wings.
yeah. So Eden's just gonna assist Finn on the other side, so they've got her
And she.
I really
And
appreciate your help.
Art will pick them up by the feet. Just like
Oh,
here you go.
and feet like now.
Now she's like flying.
Yeah, you got her under the arms. Her legs.
She's crowd surfing now.
You know, I haven't had this kind of treatment in quite some time. This is really nice.
Well, if you really like this, then you should come on over to the lagoon at the Oasis. It's my special spa, and you get really, really good treatment there. We take really good care of all of our customers.
What's the lagoon?
The Oasis of Ish.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, that's where we're from.
Are you familiar?
I've read reports. The Malthair Collective doesn't reach to the Isles, but
The reports don't do them any justice. I'll tell you that real quick.
It's
I
really
would assume
beautiful.
so. They're words on paper, and usually things that are beautiful have to be seen.
Well, that's not true exactly. I mean, I put words on paper, and they'll give you an experience that you'll never have anywhere else, and it's probably one of the most beautiful ones known to humanoid kind. But you know, believe whatever you want.
Yeah. Speaking of experiences, I understand the Malthair Collective. Are we walking into any arcane traps or anything that we should be aware of now that you're up and about?
Let me.
That's a good question.
No, there should not be any. I have the majority of my traps and sigils on the outside of the premises, in order to allow myself to walk freely in here. So we should
Okay.
be fine.
Is there a place where we can maybe sit down and rest for a minute?
Yes.
Or 8 hours?
For how many?
For
is
some
there?
hours. Like you might say we want to rest for like a long time.
Oh, is it nap time already?
DM gets you. There are dormitories to the left, and you can see in this chamber there's a central archway that's opened, and most of you guys can see through. It looks like a small like mess hall, like kind of style, or at least it's turned into one. And then there's a door to your left and a door to your right. That storage chamber over there was converted. I had converted it into sleeping arrangements in case any remaining members of the collective had returned post our divergence.
Is it safe?
I don't know. I can't. And she like touches the side of her temple and closes her eyes for a second. The reach of the spawn that's still currently inside of me, it doesn't connect to either of you currently. So I would imagine that for the time being, unless you two, and motions to Perrin and Hale, you two have any doubts that we are safe for the time being.
The last thing it said was something about follow the candles, which... And I'm going to look around. Do I see any candles?
There is not a candle in sight.
Which I don't see any, so I think it may not be necessarily in this exact location.
I have a candle.
The echo does persist. It's faint, but like every maybe about 12 to 20 seconds. It comes
That's
back
a
again.
long echo.
No, I mean it does it. It says follow the candle, and then there's like a 15 to 20 second pause, and then there's another one.
Oof, that's annoying.
That's oof.
All right, so perhaps we should go and rest.
Two of you, give me intelligence checks.
Checks or saving there?
Checks.
Checks. Got it.
Ugh.
Was that
It's a
to
16.
everyone or?
No, just the two of them. 16 for Perrin and Ripley.
17.
17. The two of you kind of like aha light bulb at the same time. You'd imagine, since this has to be some sort of two-way connection, that you could plausibly shut off the receiving end, right? Like you guys could be like, yeah, I'm not transmitting right now. Nobody contact me. If you try hard enough to overpower the...
Send it straight to voicemail. Got it.
Yeah. If you try hard enough to overpower the spawn inside of you.
I have my brain set to D&D.
You know, I didn't think
I
about
believe
that.
that's possible, but I'm going to need a place to sit down to do this.
Yes. My chambers are further in. I think I should be good enough to stand and at least walk there at the moment.
So you're going to go without us?
To my knowledge, there's no reason for us to be afraid. You managed to...
Are you trustworthy, though?
I could say the same about you five. I've
I
just
mean, we
met
could
you.
have killed you and left you dead, and we didn't. I think that's fairly redeeming.
Oh, it very much is, and I am extremely thankful for the mercy that you showed me in
I
face
think
of
I'm just a
adversity.
little concerned with your well-being. I mean, you're not in the best of shape, and I don't know. I mean, would you really be all right without anybody assisting you or making sure that you're well enough to be on your own?
I mean, and she kind of looks over all of you with the exception of Hale. And actually Art, too, I think is looking pretty good. But she looks over Eden and Perrin and Finar. You all look pretty worse for wear as well. I think we're all at the point where we need to preserve ourselves as best as we can.
Oh, no. Art just always looks like this.
You look fine. What do you mean?
Did you just refer to yourself in the third person?
Okay, but you're a
yeah.
musician. Do you not do that?
I don't refer to myself in the third person ever.
Really?
People need to
well,
know that
except for
I
that
am
one
speaking.
time when we did have the drinks and then you were going around and mentioning to like every really attractive person in the bar that you were pairing this, wants to drink, pairing. You were doing that a lot. I remember.
Okay, I might have taken it a bit too far that night, but that is
You should
not.
probably go. They're gonna do this for a
How
while.
fun is it to have a walking diary?
I don't want to find out. If you need any food, I believe there are some provisions in the next room. Should be suitable for you. Maybe
Are you
it's
well
some-
enough to answer a few questions, perhaps? Pressing as they are.
You should make him wait, and Eden will go walk towards wherever the provision.
Make a persuasion check, Eden.
Oh, that's not good though. I have a -1 to all of my charisma. That's an 18 though.
And oh wow. She turns back to you, Ripley. I'm still getting memories flooding back. I'm hoping rest will bring what I need and the
Understood.
answers that you seek.
We'll speak in the morning.
Oh, I might have some questions too. When well, I mean, sleep first. Sleep first is good, but I might want to ask some things too.
Before you go to rest some more, I have a tonic that might help you get a more restful sleep. Would you like it?
At this point, anything helps, right? And she just smiles, kind of semi-trying to be like beaming and bright, but you can tell there's a little bit of a wince in there.
Try not to take the whole thing. You know, it can be quite strong, so you want to dilute it in your water.
Okay.
There you go.
She
And
takes
she
it.
passes a vial that looks like it almost looks like kind of a muddy consistency, but there's like also seems to be some herbs in there as well.
Awesome. And she takes like a quick look at it and just kind of nods and sews it inside her robe. And I'll make sure to get a glass as I head to bed. Thank you.
Of course.
And she nods her head. And as she's walking away, I'm Kailana, by the way. If I didn't introduce myself earlier.
Oh, I apologize for helping you and picking you up and not introducing myself. I'm Finar Valar. Nice to meet you. And you said Kailana?
Kailana.
Kailana.
Kailana Fogwalker.
What a lovely
Ripley.
name.
Eden.
Oh, my name is Perrin Hopesinger.
That's my brother.
I really should come up with the last name. You guys all have.
Art. Just Art.
Good night. Or good morning. She realizes that she looks up to look at the sky and then realizes she's in a basement and just like shakes her head and turns around and walks away, grabbing a cup from the table as she goes.
If you all wouldn't be opposed, I think perhaps we should have a conversation as well before we turn in. It'll be short. There's something I'd like to discuss. Maybe we can do it over food.
That sounds like a good idea.
I like food.
Food's good. Maybe it might not be that good food if it's hanging out in barrels all day, but it's food.
So once we get in there, I guess get food and sit down.
Yeah, I was to say we
Yeah,
all
you guys
just...
can get in there, get situated. There's a couple like makeshift tables and benches. The food is pretty like it's salted meat, a few fruits and veggies that look like they've been preserved after you like get rid of the top that has a little bit of that mold layer, and then some stale bread. Nothing compared to what you ate literally earlier that morning.
So I know that we've been traveling for a short period of time. Up until recently, I've been solely concerned with self-preservation. And now I'm thrust into a situation that is reliant on other people. I'm not necessarily opposed to that. However, in my understanding is that any mission that's going to be successful that relies on a group of people will first be built upon one simple concept, which is trust. I don't know a lot about any of you and vice versa, I'm sure. But what that fight led me to believe is that we are going to now rely on each other to live or survive at least. So in order to have trust in one another that we will reciprocate, and be there for one another, it may be best to kind of entertain our curiosities for a moment and just
like a game?
ask questions. No, sure, if you want to maybe make it a game, but just generally ask questions to make each other feel better about how who each person is.
Right.
My deity or the people I used to live with, they used to play this game where you had to say some truths and a lie, and they would pick out the lie, and then if they lost, they would burn you. But we can leave that part out.
We could, okay, so maybe we'll ask the pressing questions first so that we know everybody's telling the truth, and then we can do the game for fun stuff, funner stuff.
I was kind of gonna go along with the same route as Eden, actually. It's called shakes. Effectively, you throw your hand up and down, like this, yes, 3 times, and then what you do is you throw out an amount of fingers, and if there's no one who matches, then the lowest person is asked a question by the person with the highest number of fingers showing. But if anybody matches,
pick higher numbers.
You would think that, but if you match, you have to ask one person a question and you have to answer.
So
it goes back and forth if you match.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, so that this makes sense.
Oh,
okay.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. Alrighty.
You go first.
You ready?
Oh.
We do it all together.
Okay.
And it's 1, 2, 3. Show your number. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. So myself, Eden, and Art.
Oh.
We're gonna ask questions.
Uh-huh.
Eden,
who? Oh,
you can ask your question to whoever, whether it's me or Art, but you have to answer.
okay.
Okay. So, your people that you lived with, are they older than you?
Oh yeah, very much so. Like really old. Sometimes they look like it, apparently, when they get really mad, but most of the time they look really pretty.
That was my question. Eden, you
Oh.
can ask me a question, or you can ask Art a question.
Oh, that's hard. Art, go first.
Oh, um, oh, that's a. Well, I've already asked my question of Eden, but they still don't know yet. So maybe we'll go with a Perrin. How long have you been able to play that magic sound thing you have?
My lute.
Yeah, yeah, that thing.
I've been playing this lute since I was a boy. This was a gift that my uncle Merrick gave to me before he left to go and fight in the revolution.
Oh. Was
You ask your question, and he points over to Eden. Now you get your question.
Okay, Art. How are you so smart? Like where did you learn to make all of the ducks?
Oh, well, I guess I've always kind of been curious about things. I love to learn. My dad's taught me a lot about this stuff. It's where I got better at it, I guess. They both taught me a lot.
So you learned a lot from your dads?
Yeah, well, one of them kind of taught me a lot about cooking and stuff. Although that I didn't really take as well after that, but they still they were proud of me for trying. I that's never really been my strong area, but I still really like doing it. And then my other dad, he taught me about the mechanics and stuff. And I love making things. It's and I love to learn.
That's really cool. I like the duck. It's cute.
I've always kind of liked ducks.
I saw a swan once. It talked to me.
Did they have anything interesting to say?
Yeah, it was a really weird thing. It sounded like a puzzle. I'm supposed to ask Rippy about it later, but I don't think Rippy likes me very much, so. Oh, I know my next question. Anyways.
All right, so we can do that. Do it again. We just put
Okay.
that. Okay, ready? And 1, 2, 3. Myself, Ripley, and Finara. Okay.
Oh.
Right. Professor. It's clear that you have the phrase "you contain multitudes" is just a baseline. It seems like. Why?
That is the question I assumed people would ask. But your assessment is slightly off. I, Ripley, do not contain multitudes. I am but one. He, however, does. So it is something that I can't necessarily explain not for a lack of wanting to, but a lack of ability to do so. What I know is that we are a result of an attempt to fracture one's mind. We are a direct product of that. We are fragments.
So they were so hurt or scared that they cut themselves apart?
As a defense mechanism, yes.
Can I give you a hug?
I'm
So
fine.
sad.
And pats them on the shoulder anyway.
Yeah, it's him. So and we are now that sort of, you know how they say the sort of old adage, you put a wall up, right, so you don't get close to people. The way you can think about us is we are that wall. Each one of us is a slightly different brick, but we're the wall.
They're nicer ones.
Oh.
Oh, your brain is made of bricks.
That makes a lot of sense.
Sure. Yeah. But it's not something I fully understand just yet. So it is a process. It is.
That's so interesting.
I don't know how long it's been, but
I don't think
not
I've
been long
ever
enough to
come
know.
across someone who had a fractured mind. That's so interesting.
and again, it's not my mind necessarily. It's I am the product of that. So I am the fracture. My mind is intact. It's just that my mind is uniquely different from Kaiden, who you've met before, and so on.
Sorry if I offended in any way.
No, it's a tricky concept.
Sounds complicated.
Quite.
Who's next?
Professor,
I have a
you
question.
ask either one of us.
I'll just ask you both. You have introduced yourself to me and the others as brother and sister. I don't assume, and I could be incorrectly assuming that there is no genetic component to this. What is the sort of family tree dynamic of your relationship?
And he turns to Fenara. I've been doing a lot of talking. I'm sure you remember.
Well, my daddy and his mama got together and had us.
Well, had you?
Well, oh yeah. I didn't explain that properly. I'm sorry. I just thought it was obvious that.
It's less obvious than you would assume, I think.
I feel
I think
like
it's 'cause you're so
anyone
much-
can see the family resemblance. I mean, it's
It's
kind
the
of
hair
obvious.
color. That's what it is.
Oh,
It's
well,
not the height
okay,
at
all right. Okay, so let me explain again because I didn't explain properly, but I just assume sometimes that people would automatically know that we're related, but here we are. So my daddy is a sea elf, and he fell in love with our mama, Erentrude, and then they did have me, but basically Perrin was adopted by my daddy, and then we became a whole family. So
Understood.
yeah.
Well, that does not make you any less of anything. So
No, we don't like to say that we like the whole half, all of that stuff
Yeah,
is nonsense.
absolutely.
Because my
Unnecessary.
daddy Castian doesn't look at it that way, and I don't either. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think of it in halves when our family is whole. If that makes any sense.
He
You don't-
smiles
you
at
don't-
her and goes, "No steps, no halves, just a hole."
Exactly.
You don't have to look like your parents for them to be your parents. Family can be more than
I have a
share blood.
sort of vague memory of teaching in a schoolhouse, and all the kids there are, I would consider mine. Like as they're being taught by me, I view them as my own children, and some of them were actually. So
See, that's so sweet, but that's exactly the way it should be. You feel that connection with them.
Yeah.
That's really special. I'm sure they care a lot about you too.
What did?
Did-
What if? And then Eden's just gonna get up and walk away and go sit by herself.
Oh, did I say something offensive?
No, you didn't. I don't think. And he like looks over at Eden real quick. Sorry. Go ahead, Finn. Would you have a question for either of us?
Well, because you are my brother, so I can ask you any old time. I'll ask Professor. So, well, I almost wonder if you can even answer this question, since the other person mentioned it. But maybe I should still ask you just in case, fractured or not. What about your family? You asked about our whole relation and such. I'm curious about your family. Do you miss them? Do you have siblings? Do you have children? Because apparently the other one did.
Eden will dart her head back and is looking eyeing Ripley for a response.
And it's okay. If it's too personal, I understand. We're open books, so we will talk about anything.
It was my idea. I would be remiss to dodge the question. Yes, I still have recollections of the original. I do have a sibling, a sister, who is actually very reminiscent of Perrin. Very much into the arts. Very much a performer.
What's your sister's name?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Your sister's name?
Oh, Jessica.
Oh.
So yeah, she's sort of off, and I assume doing her pursuits of that. So as far as my own family, I did have a family, wife and 3 girls. And yeah.
What are their names?
Jaya, she's the oldest. She was 10. Vivka, she was 8. And Nala, she was the little one. She was at 5.
Oh, that's so adorable.
I want you to know I hear the tenseness in your words there, Professor. And that's when Perrin's gonna jog over to Eden.
And
Okay.
she is what if I don't know my parents?
Perrin will grab her by the face and tilt her up.
Does that mean that they didn't want to teach me stuff too?
Listen,
I don't remember what happened or how I don't understand. I'm sorry.
No, stop it. Don't. Okay. First rule of friendship: don't apologize for things you can't control.
So when I couldn't control my foot?
Sure. And he smirks at that. What I mean is, you didn't have a hand in creating your situation. You didn't choose to live your life the way that it happened. Even if you didn't know your parents, doesn't mean you are any less of a person. My friend Nathaniel, he never knew his parents.
Isn't
Was
that
raised.
the one that you said something about underwear?
No, that's Crest.
Okay.
Crest. No, we don't need to talk about Crest right now.
Yeah, I
Nathaniel-
still need to talk to him about that, actually.
I don't recommend it. No, Nathaniel was raised by a lovely family of dwarfs, and Nathaniel was actually a small human boy, and because his parents died, he didn't have a family, and so Nathaniel's friends, their parents took him in, and he became their son. So, because this happened when he was very young, he didn't grow up knowing any family other than the Rock Seekers. So, what I'm trying to say here, Eden, is that even if your parents didn't teach you something, doesn't mean that you are not a whole person.
Sometimes it's better not to know them.
Why would you
I
say
just-
something like that? Are you all right, Art?
I mean, mine. I guess, but the only thing I know is that I was bad, so Hemlock told me they didn't want me.
I'm slowly beginning to feel like whoever you grew up with may or may not have been like deceiving you, perhaps.
That's kind of what they do, so I don't know. This is a long story. Let's worry about Art. Hi, Art, are you okay? And Eden will walk over, like, and just try, like, complete change of face. We'll just walk over and sit next to Art.
Finn will whisper over to the professor. I feel like I opened a can of worms and I can't quite put the lid back on.
No, it's fine. I think from an analyzing standpoint, this is probably for the best. At least we know each other better now.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but he got more of the halfling side. And then that's where then she backs up to kind of like go and follow where everyone else is lining up around Art.
Sometimes the family you choose is the one that matters. The one that you're born with doesn't always have your best interests at heart.
You can choose your family.
Mm-hmm. I chose mine. My dads aren't actually my dads, but
Well,
I chose them.
I'd say that they are.
Right, exactly.
I
agree.
Because they,
That you can choose your family.
Huh?
What?
Huh?
Excuse me.
Oh.
That's not concerning at all. Who in the blue hell is that? And he just kind of like looks around.
And you hear like clanking of metal from the shadows near the
There's a mental
steps.
man in the room. Eden will jump up and point in the direction of the sound.
Oh, I don't want to have to fight again. Oh my goodness, I'm tired.
Art has a rare moment of cognition, and at the moment Eden says that there's a metal man at the end of the room, Art, with the most serious look on his face, steps out with a duck bomb in hand, ready to go.
So you can see emerging from, and again, all you really have is this stick that emanates like 5 feet of light, and then beyond that, only those with dark vision can really see. So everybody, with the exception of Perrin, you can just see on the far end of this chamber a small stairwell, almost like a service stair, that descends further down into the basement of this tower, and emerging from this doorway, this space. Jay, would you like to introduce your character to us?
Yes, you will see an individual standing about 5'11", noticeable for those that can see with the soft light, the dark complexion, the vibrant glowing eyes, and the long braided black hair with silver strands weaved in between. Along the left arm is a golden gauntlet with a metallic rope coiled all the way up to the elbow, the right hand gloved, the torso exposed, the shoulders, chest, and along the ribs is covered in various tattoos of spiders, skulls, and names that have been scratched. Black pants, a golden belt, chains, and these metal greaves that clank with each step, as holding a small backpack with a golden breastplate that seems to be strapped to it, seemingly to be what armor this individual would have been wearing. As the cloak seems to be bellowing, even though there's no wind, it seems to flow as if wind does exist.
What do you want?
Calm down. He doesn't look like he's ready for a fight.
Oh, I sure hope not. I'm so exhausted. We haven't even finished our bread. I mean, it's kind of stale, but he'll do.
Do you want to play the game?
And how did you get here before we did?
I've been here for several days now, I believe.
Days?
Come here real quick. Eden's just gonna run up to them. And she's like inches away from space. Does this smell like sulfur?
Make a perception check.
That is a 24.
As he's standing there, breathing very shallowly, I would imagine, not to be like just like right on into Eden's face. You do catch a hint of sulfur coming from his breath.
Eden will begin to back up. He's also been oozed.
Aaron, in his head, just goes, "Welcome to the family," and just kind of, tilts his head, smirks.
No offense.
Yes. I heard you mentioned you had stale bread. Do you require food?
Do you have better food than that?
And you'll see as this individual kind of moves the breastplate, opens the back, and pulls out, seems like prepared rations of like meat, like dried meat, some other like nuts, almost like a trail mix. I have several rations I've held on to.
Oh, that looks so good. And then you see where Finn kind of like is just like drawn to the trail mix, and she's just like following like where Eden was going up to Corvus, and she's just like, do you mind? I can give you some of this stale bread. I mean,
There's no need. I have plenty for myself, and we'll hand one to Eden if Eden accepts, since Eden's the closest.
Eden is like right behind Finn, like waiting to see what the response is. It's like there's Finn and Eden is poking out to the side, like waiting for the yes.
And then we'll hand out 2 packs of the ration, basically.
Art is going to walk up to this new individual, and do you have a bit of you that appears to be fleshy?
My entire torso portion. So torso, shoulders up to about elbow is revealed skin, and from the chin up, the neck is covered in the scarf.
How tall are you?
5'11". Well, 6'1" if you count the boot height.
Okay, so I could probably theoretically reach your midriff then. I'm going to I am going to poke the fleshy bit and see if it feels like flesh.
Can we watch the language, please? God, for the love, I'm trying to be serious, y'all. Like, man,
I actually was for once trying to be serious.
y'all make it so
I
damn
know.
hard.
I
God
just
damn it,
wanted
now
some
I've done
trail
it.
Yeah,
mix.
he does.
I wasn't wanting
Watch
anything
the
else.
phrasing, Logan. God, so inappropriate.
Poking
I
the
could have
midriff.
said I wanted nuts instead of trail mix, but we didn't go there.
So-
the midriff feels fleshy, but hard because crunches are important.
Mm-hmm. Immediately upon feeling a non-metallic body, Art calms significantly and did you say something about food?
Yes, I have several packs of rations I've acquired, and we'll reach out one for Art.
Welcome
Thank
to
you,
our
thank
company
you
where
so
we will
much.
invade your personal space rather quickly. What is your name?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm Valar. That there brother is my brother, Perrin, Hope Singer. And then
Oh, this is Cookie. sometimes, but right now
Ripley.
they're grouchy is what I'm gonna name them. Grouchy.
And you'll see this individual is like, as you're speaking names, starts writing down, flipping pages in a small pocket notebook.
Oh, and this one that poked you there, this is Art. I promise he's really nice.
Uh,
You're not one of those. You're not one of those that eats goblin toes, right?
They eat goblins.
I am not one who has consumed goblin flesh. No.
Oh, thank goodness. All right. Okay, cool.
I
There
am,
there are people that eat goblins?
I have met a few. Yes.
What is your business here?
Sorry.
I came to deal with the problem of a arcane origin, a hermit here.
Are they a lady?
The details of my job was not too specific. However, I was ambushed and overwhelmed by the threats when I got close.
Is this a self-endeavor or were you hired?
I am hired. It is my job to hunt, to capture, to reclaim property, if you will.
Did the things that you were fighting look like this? And Art's gonna hold up the jar of ooze.
That insufferable ooze.
It got inside you, huh?
Yes, it has become a nuisance.
I can show you how to shut off the voices, at least
There's-
temporarily.
Like beating the dog crap out of a big one.
There's no need to shut off the voices. I have learned one way or another to deal with that problem before this endeavor.
Interesting.
My apologies. I am Corvus.
Eden.
Many
Alright.
know me as the Black Phoenix.
Sounds spooky.
Oh. That sounds amazing.
They call me dramatic.
Like, does
Sounds
that mean that you can
self-appointed.
fly like a phoenix? Or
That is
Make
one thing
fire
that
like
I
a
can do.
phoenix.
It is the fact that from the ashes I have fallen, and from that I have been reborn.
Are you
Is that why
dead?
your eyes? Is that why your
I
eyes
woke
glow?
up in the cocoon.
The glowing is the lineage of both my mother and whatever blessings she had provided me.
I remember reading this book at one point about the legendary phoenix. Does that mean that you died and you came back or something?
That is as the tales once were.
Right.
Fascinating.
Anything that usually entails a phoenix is often a saga. So you've been through many iterations.
In a sense, I have hunted many creatures, and as a child, my home was burned to ash.
oh, that's awful. I'm so sorry.
It is what it, well, was. And from that, I am here.
So what you're saying is you want to play the game with us and you're totally going to help us fight evil things. Cool. And Eden's just going to
Yeah.
go back and sit down at the table right next to Ripley.
Come with us. Come. You can sit right over here. And then, for some reason, she's dragging Corvus along, or attempting to like have him sit next to her because she knows that he has more trail mix and she's trying to become his best friend.
And
Just,
Corvus is dragged without problem.
Just to give you a little insight, since you provided to us, we were sent here to, well, two reasons. One, to meet the Mithril Collective representative, but also root out the source of the ooze problem. We've done the first half. We are about to embark on the second half after, of course, we rest, because that was rather taxing. I don't know if our tasks align, but it may not be a bad thing to pool our resources,
Well,
since we look like we're headed in the same direction.
I have faced here alone, and it did not prove well. My escape
At
from
least
where they
for
held me.
efficiency's sake, then.
I do not see a problem with working with you. That is partially why I had hoped that you weren't hostile.
And we won't ask for a cut of your work. Your work is your own, but we could use the help.
Of course. I'm a capable fighter. I work well within that movement of shadows.
Perrin is like, as he's saying that, like examining him, like up and down, just like looking at his physical form. Right, we don't exactly have anyone that can do what it appears you can do. And he's just kind of like scanning up and down, like looking at like the leanness in his muscle and how like taut he looks.
I am an ranged fighter at most, and you'll see that golden chain wrapped around the arm as it starts to unravel itself and drop, and you see like a soft, almost glow from it as it snaps, like he cuts it partway through. Bind, and then you see it remend itself, and he coils it back.
That's cool. I do stuff with vines, and then Eden's just gonna throw her hands onto the table and cast druid craft, and vines are gonna start like wrapping up and around her arms and back up on the table, and then it's gonna come back and make a little tree that's going to release a bunch of pollen in Ripley's face. Like,
I'm not the one that's allergic. Sorry. That's
Oh, I can also do something similar. And then Fanara's gonna go reach over to wherever Perrin is and like rip the sleeve of his shirt.
Hey.
Wait, you know what? I can now fix it.
Oh,
I
and he
spent
just like
time doing it. Give
rolls
me a
his eyes
second.
and like puts his shoulder out.
And then she basically is gonna cast mending on where she tore the sleeve from the seam.
And you spend the next minute with your hands pressed at the different portions of where it's just making sure it's all patched. Yeah.
Is that a self-mending chain?
It is a tool of mending I've acquired on the day of the Phoenix. It has done me well.
I need to study this.
You are welcome to observe, however, it is not allowed to leave my person.
oh, so we are gonna spend some time resting, right?
I would hope
Yes.
so. You hear from the other phone. I would hope so.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
Wait,
are these
wait.
walls thin? Can you hear us? He knocks on the wall.
I specifically crafted the lower levels of the tower post-ruin to ensure that I'd be able to hear anyone moving at any part
That's wise.
of the
Well,
basement
get
of the
ready.
tower at any
I
moment.
hope you're not a light sleeper, because I snore. And Perrin is just gonna go off to
Oh,
the side and
he
start sitting up.
does. It sounds like some type of like sea creature just. I don't know how he makes such a small body, but he makes so much noise. I don't.
You hear very faintly, like almost as like somebody's rolling over and saying something as they are. At least you're not a bullywog. And rolls.
And we only have like a 5-foot light, you said?
Yeah,
Is there a fire pit in the room? I was like along the same lines of questioning.
It looks as if there is like a small hearth that extends into that extends up into the ceiling. You're not sure where it goes or if it's a functioning chimney, but it does look that's where
It's gonna fill the area with smoke. and Just
Kailana
course
would-
back down
would
in.
have, yeah. It looks like that's where Kailana would have done her cooking.
Any reason that you had such a minuscule light source?
I'm the only one who needs it.
Yeah, and so really, frankly, since he's the only one that needs it, nobody cares to make it brighter. It's a joke.
The rest
And
of
we
you
were
are-
kind of huddled around one another.
Oh, I was trying to be funny.
Well, it's good
hilarious.
to know you all have the ability to see without light.
Do you not? I can make you one too.
I do not require sight to see.
That's weird. I have antenna.
Huh?
I'm very confused. I'm not quite sure I understand.
I'm gonna make a thing.
Perrin casually just pulls. I think it's like a. What's in the explorer's pack? Hold on one second. He pulls out a roll of his socks and just hucks it at Corvus after hearing this.
I'm gonna try to catch it.
Yeah, go ahead and make me your first roll to catch a pair of socks. It's gonna be a
Perrin!
dexterity
Last
check.
Last episode we fought a boom wizard. This episode catching socks.
Yup.
That
We-
is a 19.
A 19. Yeah, you're able to just single-handedly grab it.
Perrin, you
Wait.
can't just throw socks at people.
He
Come
said he
on.
didn't need sight.
What
I'm
sense
just
do you
trying
use?
to.
You're
I
as
can-
bad as Grandpa Al. My goodness.
It's more so I have the ability to observe my immediate surroundings without needing to look at it. You rely too much
Okay.
on your eyes, you miss things that are before you.
Fair enough.
So, do you know how to play shakes or shaky or fingers or whatever it's called?
From what I saw, I simply reveal a number of fingers on my hand, and
Let's do it. One more time before I
Oh.
need to start the thing.
Right. Okay. One more.
Oh,
I mean, it
hi.
kind of off kilter. So now we're gonna have a series of people asking questions to a series of people. We'll see.
What's wrong
Are-
with that?
Nothing. Art,
Well,
ready? 1, 2, 3. That's Fanara and Eden
Eden.
And
Those-
Art
oh.
and Corvus.
and Corvus. Yes.
Okay. You go first.
No, you can go ahead.
But okay. How did you meet your deity?
Oh, me?
Mhm.
Oh, well, it's really interesting. She kind of came to me when I was dreaming, if that makes sense. When I was asleep. And it was really interesting. I saw a beautiful outline of a woman. And I saw a bright light, and it extended into the ocean. And sometimes when I would go for my swims, because that's what I like to do to kind of center myself and calm down, especially if I, had any bad thoughts or I was feeling nervous or anxious. And she sometimes would appear again in those moments. And then my daddy explained to me that it sounded like a Avandra, and that she's always looking out for me. And I guess that's how it started. And then I started learning a little bit more about her and how she brings about good change, and especially those who travel a lot. So I guess you could say that she's over anyone who's about seeking their own freedom or individuality and seeking adventure. And she wants us to go and venture into the unknown, because that's when really amazing things happen and you grow as a person.
That's what I'm doing.
Hasn't it been fun so far?
This has been terrifying and kind of sad.
Well, not. I mean, we're terrified and
No,
I
you
hope
guys have been great. It's just
Oh,
I made a friend when I first left, and she's this really wrinkly little woman. And I stayed for a few days, and she was really sweet, and we made food, but then I woke up and she didn't.
oh, I'm so sorry.
And I asked Kaiden, and he said sometimes people just get old and then they don't wake up. And so I guess that's what happened. And I was really sad because I didn't know what happened. And now I know what happened, so it's still sad.
I'm so sorry. I mean, I guess you could say that we've been very blessed, and we haven't experienced all of those tribulations that it seems like you've experienced. So,
I've never been around death. Where I've come from, that everybody looks the same for a long time.
I can understand that. I mean, we haven't really experienced all of that, especially me. I don't know about Parent. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. But
think
and
he
then
was
she kind of
supposed to
looks over at
scare
Perrin, kind of like, "Have you?" Like squinting, but because he's not a part of the questioning, she can't ask him.
Your turn.
All right. Really interesting. There's so I could ask.
Ask me anything.
Well, would you consider us friends?
Hmm?
Oh, that's nice. I just wanted to know. That was kind of an easy one. That doesn't really count. I just was
No, that's
curious.
fine.
Okay, a real one this time. All right. Well, when did you start being able to do all the awesome things with your vines and
Oh,
where your
that-
arm becomes an animal and all that good stuff?
Well, I don't know how long it's been, but when I was really little, the mostly Bella helped me because Hemlock was really mean, but Bella would teach me different games, and she used to make lots of like potions and stuff, and I would watch her, and so she would show me ones because they were funny, like my arm turning into the Grim. It was one that we used to do because it made Hemlock mad because it was funny because you would be sitting there eating dinner and then your arm just turns into the little weasel and runs all over the table. It's a lot of fun.
It's really scary at first when you see it happen because then your skin it goes back and it's really cute after.
It wasn't funny
that.
when Hemlock would do it because hers would be crocodiles and it was awful.
Oh.
Hemlock's really mean. She's really smart, but she doesn't like me very much. But
Well,
it's been
I don't know
a
if
long
I would
time.
like this person, this Hemlock person, but
Don't
I'm
tell her I
glad you're
said
with
that.
us now because I don't think that person deserved to be around you. It seems.
Yeah, I don't. She kind of scares me. Someday I'll have to go back, but right now it's fine. But really, I think it's been since I was little. Like I started little doing, and then I finally got this, and then Eden will pull up her little like the carafe kind of Voss looking thing. This is my cauldron, and if I do this, and she traces her fingers along some of the inscriptions and they glow a little bit, and like the base of it kind of radiates a little bit of heat, and I can put stuff in here, and that's how I made the drink for Ripley. I learned how to do that right
so it's
before I
kind of
left.
like this, and then she's gonna like Fanara's gonna pull out her little mortar and like basically just kind of show how she usually mixes her tonics and like with the little vials. I mean, it's not as grand as yours is, but it gets the job done. And usually when at the lagoon, when I would help people who would come and have aches and pains and such, I would sometimes make them special tonics like I did with the woman there. And it really did help them. And that made me happy because I found something I was really good at. And then I started discovering that I could do a lot more. But it took time, Oh,
Yeah.
we should probably stop talking.
Oh,
'cause
sorry.
Everyone
Guys,
else seems...
Here, you can is Eden like slides her cauldron like between them and is like showing her as she's putting stuff in. Like and continues like, yes, you guys go now. Showing her what she's putting in. Like some of the trail mix goes in, just like
And then you just hear Fanar, oh, so you could do with that. Like she's like whispering, like trying to ask questions while she's like trying to be quiet at the same time.
pulls off one
Orvis,
of
Art,
the
you-
petals, puts it in.
Do you have any questions for each other?
That's how the next part works.
You can ask Art a question, and Art can ask you a question. Unless you're really curious about somebody else and just ask the question. Who cares? It's a stupid game. No offense.
My young goblin, I allow you to speak first.
I said no offense.
Well, I'm sorry. I was very distracted by this
fascinating mending chain that you have, and I'm honestly stumped for a question, which is kind of a rare thing for me.
Well, I suppose then I shall be asking you a question. You seem fascinated in the chain, and you held a interesting device. And based on what I observed earlier, you spoke on crafting things.
I might know a thing or two about making things. Look, and Art's going to take the duck-shaped device, which has been in his hand this entire time, and has, he's just been, while fascinated by the chain and everything else. And look, if you go like this, and Art's gonna go ahead and find an empty space in the cave and throw it.
Is it expected to do
Roll,
something?
roll your damage for me, please.
Yeah, Eden, you just
This is a cave underground, sir.
Yep.
as soon as that happens, Eden just plugs her ears.
That'll be an 8.
From deeper down in the hall. And, I need everybody because our wonderful friend did actually give
I plugged my ears.
our wonderful friend did donate last stream, and I didn't make you guys do it. Give me a strength saving throw, please.
Oh no! Why?
Listen, I said if somebody did a specific thing, then I'd make you guys roll strength
Gosh
saves.
dang it!
And-
Gosh dang it!
Oh boy.
5.
Oh my god! Oh,
I got a natural 20.
I got a 16.
Hang on.
I got a 2.
Eden, what was yours? Sorry, I didn't see it. 5?
You didn't see my massive man hand? Sure.
Well, on the overlay, it cuts off about here, so I only see your. 5. Perrin, you got
5.
5. Finara,
16.
16. Art, 2. Wow. Corvus.
20.
Okay, good. And Professor Hale, Ripley.
Please be a 1.
It's worse. It's a 0.
So you
haven't
straight
gotten
up.
those dice yet, have you?
So Corvus, you stand up as this explosion happens, constantly ready, and you just stand up, plant your feet, you're good. The rest of you teeter on your seats and fall back. Hale, you fall back and knock your head on the stone floor, and you're going to take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you do
Jesus,
so.
I really need a long rest, you guys.
16 wasn't enough to survive.
Oh, Finara, you're fine. I'm sorry. Yeah, Finara, you're fine.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to bed.
Guys, I took 2 points of damage. I'm going to bed.
Are you okay? You appear to have taken a bit of a
It's
hit.
fine. I'll be fine. I just need
You
to.
still have the tonic that I gave you, so you're fine.
Ugh.
But
Do you require healing?
No, just a rest. I think that's going to do both physical and mental wonders.
Kaiden
I appreciate it, though.
said that she would answer a question for me.
Oh, good. The headache wasn't fully in yet, so let's do that.
Okay. I really just want to know what a child of spring is.
A child of spring.
A swan in the fountain told me I was a child of spring.
DM, do I know anything about what you're talking about?
And
Make
Kaiden
a-
said you might know.
Make a
It's
history
true.
check.
I do
Make a
remember
history
that.
check.
Could I also make that check
Yeah.
as someone who is a storyteller?
100%.
20.
Yeah.
The exact opposite of what I just rolled.
That's a 5.
Perrin, you live in the oasis. There's no spring there, so there are no stories of spring.
Perpetual summer.
it's summer all year long, so you don't tell any stories of
Summer,
spring.
summer.
Hale, Ripley, you would know with your 20, 2 things. Either one, if it's talking within the context, at this point, your intelligence being able to bridge some of it. I've been talking within the context of like person, like just living. A child of spring is somebody who has not seen the harshness of life. It's also contrasted with like children of winter. So people who've seen the harshness of life, death, a lot of the things that come with being older and weathered and more used to the world. The flip side of that could also mean that it's an exact interpretation. Looking at who Eden is as a person, it could mean that she is in herself a representation of spring in some way.
So, yeah, it's either allegory for a certain amount of naivety on your part. A person who hasn't, hold on, I'll get to it. A person who hasn't been out in the world, hasn't experienced all of the things that the world offers, good and bad, I guess. The other side is your druidic nature. It could be a quite literal interpretation that you are someone who was born in the spring. I'm not as well versed in druidic magic, so I don't know all the connotations that would come with that, but I'm sure there are some based on the season in which you're born.
Noted. Can you say allegory in Sylvan?
Yes, and I'll say allegory in Sylvan.
He says allegory in Sylvan.
Okay. Eden goes, oh, okay. Like when you're using stuff to mean something else. Thank you.
Yes.
This is my second language.
Fair enough. It's my third.
It's one of my, if we want to go that way, and then she will speak in Elvish during that phrase and then finish it with primordial, going into Sylvan and then back into common.
Oh boy. Art, do you happen to have a question for Mr. Corvus? I believe it is your turn.
Oh, well, yes, actually. Yes. You've been talking a lot about the, well, you seem to know about this Mouthier Collective. What can you tell us about it?
That is quite a deep question to ask. Many things can be told of it. More specifically, what is it that you wish to know?
Are they good or bad?
If it's a matter of good or bad, that is sadly an answer of perspective.
He's not wrong.
In the same way, my, drow heritage, some see as evil, some see as good.
What's a
You have a question.
drow?
A drow. It is an elf, though one that has become accustomed to darkness, both physically and the arcane itself.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. She
That
just
is-
sounds super positive about it. Like,
I'm
Do they?
also a elf as well, but sea elf, so I'm not accustomed to darkness necessarily.
Quite the opposite.
But
It-
at least they're sort of connected. And then she's gonna be like doing like trying to find like common ground, but kind of like also awkwardly.
A very long time ago, the original elves were connected, and then there was the divorce, and he just kind of just like looks off, and it's just like in like this listless stare of just like recalling the story of the origin of elves.
So
Well,
now here I am. Part
Are you a-
drow.
I'm
Well-
assuming you're not a member of the Mithril Collective.
I am not a member of anything particularly, no.
I was just wondering if they have, well, I was wondering if they might have access to research on unusual subjects.
If that is your question, that is broad, and the answer is, of course, all things are unusual to those that have never encountered it. I do not wish to speak in circles, but your questions are hard to give precise answers towards.
I don't know what you seek exactly, but as my time there was spent studying fringe magic, so it's possible.
I know well, I might be breaking the rules of the game here, but I'm kind of curious on what that is.
What I studied, or what?
Well, what is
Here,
fringe
sorry,
magic?
I keep calling it Myth. I keep calling it Lord of the Rings. What is it?
What is fringe magic?
Well, so if you look at magic, there are different schools of magic, all of which were studied by the Malthier Collective. And the whole idea, at least with my colleagues, was to sort of see how far those boundaries could be pushed. And it's study that I actually continue to pursue. My magic is cerebral, and I want to know how far I can push that to bend not just my reality, but create a new reality for everyone.
Yes, and that has proven to be
Tricky.
something I've heard other people attempt as well.
I'm not the only one, for sure. Which is why I wanted to talk to this resident collective member, because I am in need of information.
I just want to make people happy.
I also need information.
Well, if I can get you in other places, I will.
I'd like that.
I'll help you too. I mean, I don't have access to all the schools, but I'm sure what are you looking research-wise? Because they're not very nice, but Hemlock and Bilba and Wisteria know a lot.
With all due respect, I have a feeling that our presence with you is going to create a meeting at some point with them, whether we wish it or not.
They're probably still back in the Briar. I don't think they would. They wouldn't follow it, would they? Oh my god. Eden like kind of trails off, like because it's just now dawning on her. Weeks later.
Well, Eden, if it makes you feel better, you did make me rather happy when you said that we were friends, or at least you considered us such.
Well, yeah, you guys are really nice, and you've been a lot nicer to me than a lot of people, and you haven't tried to play any tricks on me, even though Ripley's a little grouchy. I think I can make them like me. So, yeah, we're all friends.
It's not that I dislike you, it's that I don't have time.
So if I make you more tonics, you'll like me?
If it helps me pursue my goal, then yes. If it distracts me from my goal, then no.
Flavor?
The mint chocolate chip is fine.
What about butter pecan?
Nope.
What about
That sounds really good to
pistachio?
me.
I'm going to bed now.
Chips. Okay.
Are we all sleeping in the same room? I can put up an alarm system if we are.
Should we take watches?
We can do that as well.
We'll take
I can
first.
take watch.
Mr. Corvus, are you going to be staying with us for the evening?
I just assumed.
I shall be staying until we complete the task I need to. And that should be the extent of that, yes.
I do have a quick question. When you said you were asked me for healing, were you talking from an arcane standpoint or from a medicinal standpoint?
I believe you can call it arcane, if you will.
Or divine, I guess, as some people refer to it as.
Oh, I have those abilities too.
And Corvus's hand kind of turns. The rope kind of starts to glow. I know not the origin of it, but it is healing all the same. And the light fades out.
Good to know.
I don't know the origin of all of mine really either, like where it comes from or like how it works. I just know that if I do these things and say stuff, it happens.
That is all you need, then. You have enough to sustain you.
Then,
I like to know exactly where mine comes from.
oh,
I
well
wish
then, who's taking watches?
I'll take the first.
Oh,
If I can get just a bit of rest, I can watch afterwards.
Eden, do you want to take the second watch?
yeah. We need to take the second watch together because we'll be more efficient.
I'm probably not going to be able to sleep right away. I can stay up with Perrin for first watch.
Ooh.
Corvus, you want to take third with me, please?
suppose if that is the arrangement.
You don't want us to stay up with you?
Absolutely not. We have a
Sure.
lot of monotone conversation to have. Sorry.
Well played. Well played.
I like that Ronan couldn't even say that with a straight face. You broke your monotone.
So the six of you go into this small bunkhouse, establish your cots and sleeping arrangements. Professor Hale, you set your alarm around the door. You begin your watches. And as we begin our long rest, that is where we're going to take a quick break. A reminder that if you want an Umbral Oculus D20 provided to you by the wonderful Umbral Oculus Dice Company run by Taryn Hackett, please put the word barefoot, BAREFOOT, all undercase, in the chat. And you, too, could win that D20 in her hand that she is rolling right now. And I think is rolling pretty well.
Yeah, like unnatural 20 and some like 19s and 18 and a 15.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
that's like the best die that we've given away. I'm just saying.
I fucked up and rolled a different one earlier for the strength save. Just don't do that.
Yeah, start with Umbral Oculus, then you never leave. But yeah, we're gonna go on break. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll catch you soon.
Deadpan.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Art. So, we come back at the start of our long rest. Art, Perrin, is there anything you would like to do during your watch?
So, before starting the watch, and this was, I'm gonna say at some point in time when we found the moldy, rotten food, Art will have scooped up a little bit of that for safekeeping. And while we are out here on our watch, Art is going to take out a stick of butter, some of the moldy fruit, and is going to start experimenting, mixing some things together. Might take a little bit of that vinegar from his flask, poured in there as well, and is basically just going to be mixing this concoction together.
Okay. You making anything in particular, or is it just...
Yes, basically, by the time Art is done, it's basically going to wind up being a incredibly pure looking stick of butter that smells oddly of fruit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a roll for that. That sounds pretty good. Anything else?
I am strumming a tune to myself. My lute activates when I want it to, mostly. And then I have subconscious thoughts that sometimes leak into my my music. Currently, there are a pair of turtle doves that seem to be like flitting around and like chasing each other. And then as I'm playing this particular song, it's like you can't hear it, but you can see like there's like a lightning flash, and rain starts to fall. I don't get wet, but you can see that like the rain itself is like impacting and splashing and splattering. It doesn't make a puddle, but it's very evident that it's like a thunderstorm is happening, and then the turtle doves kind of fly off, and it is now like almost a torrential downpour, and the lightning flashes like harder and faster, and it doesn't seem to be changing the play style. It doesn't seem to be changing the tempo or anything. It just seems to like when Perrin all of a sudden just goes and pulls and pauses, you see like flash is big and bright and then like dies back down, and he just keeps playing one after the other.
So, almost like a cat, Art is doing this thing where he's just fascinated watching this happen, and each time there's like a big old flash of something, he almost kind of does that little like twitch sort of thing, and when the torrential downpour happens, starts like waving a hand over your head, just like
what, and then and as you pull him out from playing, like the rain stops.
It was raining, except that it wasn't raining.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, just now when you were making the magical sounds and all that, it was raining, but then there was no water. Or at least I didn't get wet. It was weird.
Right. Sorry. Sometimes I get what most artists say in my feelings, and he like looks at the lute. There's some kind of there are some properties to this instrument where certain songs evoke specific illusions, so to speak, and he just starts playing something kind of like upbeat, and you can kind of see that like there's like a bright beam of sunshine that comes down, a myriad of butterflies float by, and they are of many different colors, and there are like bubbles that float through, and he just kind of like looks at you and just softly smiles and says it all really depends on what you're trying to get across in what you're playing.
Fascinating. So you can evoke your will to manifest illusions.
Kind of. It's more like I it's more like the instrument feels what I'm feeling and then shows it. Kind of. Hmm.
So you're not willing it to happen. It just happens because it knows what you think and turns that into something else?
Yes. So like when I'm really mad and I'm angry, you might see some like fire or smoke of whatever color. But for the most part, it's it's the instrument. It's not me, but we're we communicate kind of without words.
So it's like a language, but not spoken.
Yes, more or less. It knows what I'm feeling, and then he just kind of like rolls his eyes, displays that for everyone.
Huh. So what were you thinking about?
I uh, I don't do well feeling replaced. And he just kind of like his eyes dart to his sister and back to Art like in a split second. Uh, I have an unfortunately large green streak that runs through me at times, and I have I am very bad when it comes to jealousy, and I no matter how many times we talk about and repeat the phrase "no steps, no halves, just whole." Whenever I see someone who is not a halfling that seems to capture the attention of my sister, it always seems that she shines a little brighter, and I worry that she's going to get lost in somebody else's eyes because she gets excited and wants to learn new things, and it's always innocent. But the the world can be cruel to those who don't know that it's cruel. Um, and all she's known are the sunshine and the waves, and the comforts of home where my mother made it easy to get by, where her father had her set up for life. I don't want her to get lost, which is ironic, seeing as the goddess which she follows, and he kind of like says that out so that it echoes, is she who makes the path. Ironic how that kind of seems to be, don't you think?
Well, if if there if she's someone you care about, then you look after her, right?
Yeah, I do. I will always look after her, and I will always be there to make sure that whenever she falls, she gets back up. But I can't help but feel worried. I don't know him, them. I don't. It's too many variables.
No. World is scary when you don't understand things, but that's why you learn.
That's what she wants for this. That's why we're here. She wants to see things. She wants to know things. Learn. She's always for learning. But just worried that some mysterious, beautiful, new thing is going to come along, shine a little brighter than I do, and my starlight will no longer be the guiding light that she follows. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. But for now, I guess I'm just worried, is all.
Well, you don't shine, you're not starlight, and I don't see this green streak you're talking about, but you're still a fascinating person. I don't think she'll ever stop liking you.
You are an incredibly literal person. Okay, so are you familiar with the term sarcasm?
Well, no, actually, I don't think that one's ever come up in my studies.
Right. Sarcasm is when somebody's trying to say something that say something that isn't, but saying that it is. Right? Like, wow, Art, you're so tall. That's sarcasm. There's like a tone to it. But okay. I don't actually have a literal streak of green. That's like a turn of phrase that means like there's a phrase that's called green with envy. And that's what I mean by that, because I know how. Okay. A lot of what I do is poetic in nature. Meanings transition differently. And if you're primarily taught to understand and study things and take things as fact and how they're supposed to be written, it's going to be very hard for me to explain a lot of these things.
Well, it sounds like I don't understand why you would need to say something other than what you mean. Seems like people might understand you better if you just tell them what you want or what you mean.
You know, I thought I would have had prepared for this exact moment where someone would just say, "Oh, you should just say how you feel," and then I have a response. But I don't know what it is with you, Art. But just I lack words to whenever I talk to you. I am sorry. I'm usually very good with my words. I taught myself as a wordsmith, where I can craft eloquent sentences with effortless movement between lines, and and make all this, varied vocabulary that we call the common language always sound, poetic. But there's something about you that just makes it harder, because I feel I don't know. It's a weird way to explain things.
Yeah. People often have a hard time understanding me, but I often find whenever I don't understand something, I read, so I can learn to try to understand it.
Right. Huh. I think you're easier to understand than you give yourself credit for, though. I mean, I might not have the words to, always flower it up, but it's fairly simple art. You're intuitively creative. You learn by doing.
Well, like you said, world's a scary place. It's less scary when you try to understand it.
It's hard to have the fear of the unknown when you know what's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Did you want to try some of this?
Oh, sorry. Try some of what?
Well, I know the last time it didn't go down quite so easy, but I think this one might have a slightly fresher flavor to it. And Art holds out a piece of the fruity smelling butter.
I maybe not. Not right now. Maybe later. When we're all awake and not when we have to go to sleep.
Oh, that's a good point. It'll probably taste better if it has a chance to accumulate its flavor more.
You sit there in puzzlement and trying to figure out what that is for the remainder of your watch. The two of you get up, wake up the next two. Perrin, which of the pair are you waking up?
I'm waking up my sister. And I wake up my sister with the only way I know how. Which, if I could pull up my chords for it, it's just very soft, but I play it like literally right beside her ear, and I go, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away." Hello, Sleepy. It's your turn.
That's much needed for sure. And I can't think of a better way to wake up. That's one of my favorites from yours.
All right, go over there. Pay attention. And he gives her like a little peck on the forehead and then unroll his bedroll.
You go and give her a peck on the forehead. Your jaw cracks. And Fanara, you hear this audibly next to you as you feel an ooze-like tendril come out of your brother's mouth and start to make its way up your cheek. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no.
The kiss of death.
It's only a 6.
A 6.
Oh no.
You watch as this tendril, Art, you're there like barely getting ready to wake up Eden. And you turn and you see this as the ooze is like in between the two of them. It snaps and severs at the center, one portion going back inside of Perrin, the other into Fenara's mouth. Her head snaps back, eyes roll back into her head, and then she shakes it off. It's fine.
Well, that's not good.
I am so very sorry.
What am I supposed to do now?
And then in his head, he just thinks as fast as he can, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic.
And then she's like, while she's making that noise, she's like, well, what else am I supposed to do? I mean, the thing is in now inside of me, and I don't know how to get it out, and you didn't get it out of your own system, and then the others. How do we fix this, parent? How do we fix it?
Corvus and Ripley, you both hear this almost shouting into your heads.
And
That's just what I say in my head.
Art looks to the two of them, just between Finn and Eden, and to Finn and to Eden.
Eden is snoring.
And Art is going to, just not knowing what else to do, is going to pull out the other project that he was working on, and his cast iron pan has a simple wire tied from the handle down to the bottom of it, and Art is going to attempt to strum it, and it only is really able to make one note, because that's really all that it does. And he attempts to essentially give Eden the same wake-up call that Perrin just did to Finn, except, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy.
Eden, as you're beginning to wake up, in that brief bit of respite that you had, you had a moment of clarity when most of the time words and things that your sisters had said to you torment your sleep. But this time, you dream of the place you woke. But instead of being dead and decaying, you see the beginnings of blooming life around your former cocoon. And then you hear Art.
Art, that's really pretty singing. I had a really good dream.
Thank you. I'm glad. Things just happened, and it was, well, yeah.
What do you mean things just happened?
Well, you remember the nice, lovely ooze that happens to be inside of Perrin? Well, it may have just gone inside of Finn too.
That's not good. So me and Art are the only ones that haven't got oozed. I just wanted to. It spreads. I'm sorry, Finn. If I could make I don't. Have we tried patting you on the back really hard? Does that work? What if we hang you upside down and Eden will use her thorn whip and take Finn? And has Finn like up off the ground with
mind
the
you,
buds?
Finn's dress now that actually ironically is like the opposite ombre. She does have on don't worry,
Spanx.
she has a knickers But basically it's just so basically it's just like the dress blends in with the opposite side of her hair while she's upside down. But yeah, her bare legs, you see her little fin toes.
Neither Eden nor Taryn thought of that. It's just pick her up.
It's basically like the equivalent of like how a bodysuit, like if it was like a bathing suit, like it's basically that, but she is technically exposed while she's like flailing, like like trying to like free herself.
Shaking
I remember
a little bit.
Is
it coming out?
She expelled when she had that food from. I think I might still have some here somewhere. And Art's gonna find that very lovely dish that caused Finara to puke on day 1 to try and see if maybe this might help expel some of this from her body.
She got contaminated.
I don't think this is working, Eden.
Oh, sorry. And she puts her down. I'm sorry. I just don't want you to have it too.
Here, you need to expel it from your body. Here.
If it's already.
Oh God. That smells worse than when it was made.
It's not gonna let it out by whatever that terrible concoction is.
It's 3-day-old slop.
The only way to remove something like this is through the hopeful aid of those with more knowledge.
What if we kill the big one? Because I'll go smash his face in right now. As Eden's eyes begin to like ink black a little bit.
I suppose it's an option.
Because I have no problem doing that. My magic gets really strong when I get pissed off anyways.
In the end, it's a race against time.
Would you know where to find it?
But we need to finish resting. Look, Hale looks even older than he did before.
Who is
You
this
kidding? I
Hale
haven't
you
even
speak
started
of?
resting. Tomorrow we're gonna have a diatribe on what the definition of rest is to you people.
We were trying and they oozed each other.
I would
It
second
wasn't my
that.
fault. It got it. Sorry.
Go back
I
to bed.
couldn't help that. I'm sorry that I forgot that it's the connection, and then you can hear what I say to my brother in my mind. And listen, that was really, really disgusting, and I can't get it out. So I don't know. I don't know what to
It
do.
is more than a little off-putting, but it did not kill either your brother nor me, or apparently Corvus. You will survive the night, and we will continue to try to fix it tomorrow. We cannot do anything currently, or at least I can't.
Okay. Well, good night then. As Eden like closes Ripley's eyes.
Well, actually, just for clarification, Ripley is in between two sort of beds, sitting Indian style, with his hand on a book, and hasn't opened his eyes once yet. He's just crossed applesauce the whole time.
Then hands in front of face.
Yeah.
I'll try not to do the head thingy. I'm sorry. Please get your rest.
It's fine.
Follow the candle. Follow the candle. As Corvus tries to go back to sleep.
Oh, hey Art, do you have that thing I gave you earlier?
Hmm?
The braid?
Oh,
Thank you. And she puts it into her cauldron as it like boils and like their smoke comes out, and then I'll give you a new one tomorrow.
okay.
And as that happens, like the braid that was cut off just instantly regrows and she just starts braiding it back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And goes and like sits down next to her cauldron, I guess, for the watch. How does it feel, Finn?
Well, that's the thing. I don't feel any different, but that definitely happened, and we all saw, well, I don't think you saw it, but we were everyone who was awake witnessed what happened, and we just know the after effects of the oblex getting into the system, so that's a little concerning. You know, it's interesting because my brother, sometimes when we're spending time together, he'll braid my hair too, kind of like how you were braiding.
Oh, yeah, it grows really fast. It's kind of weird. Like one time I got really mad because Hemlock made me braid all my hair and I got really mad, so I cut them all off and they grew back like next morning.
Oh, is that also too a part of your magic? Like, can you make like a magical hair growth serum? That would kill on the market.
That really would, wouldn't it? There was, okay, so when I first met people, there was this one who
Eden,
had.
as you're in the middle of talking, Fanara's mouth opens. The oblex shoots out towards you, but lands on the ground and begins slurping and skittering over to the sleeping Art. Begins crawling up his shoulder toward his mouth.
Eden, no, that as soon as that happens, Eden like will absolutely. Let's see here. What am I gonna do? No, like as it's going across the floor, just instinctively, shillelagh just whack.
As she like comes down with the shillelagh, I go to like dive on the ooze itself. So as she comes down, she's coming down on the back of my neck.
All right, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll your attack, Eden, and then
Okay.
acrobatics, Perrin.
7.
7. All right, and Eden.
Natural 20. Best time for a natural 20.
It's a natural 20 for 6.
Perrin, you are gonna take half damage, and this thing will
Okay.
take half damage as you are only
So it's
you are only able to cover part of it as
double
it's crawling
damage.
over Art, but it's double dice, correct?
Oh no, Perrin.
Tell me that's an 8. Tell me that's an 8.
For
Yeah.
8 and a
Oculus
6, so that's 14 plus 4 is 18.
18, so 9
So
points.
9.
9.
9 points to Perrin and 9 points to the ejected oblex spawn, which immediately splatters over what would be probably Art's like leg heading up to like the middle of his torso.
Yeah, and at that point, Eden's eyes, the black recedes and the red irises turn back to blue, and she's just, oh no, what the?
Oh,
I crawl my way up Art, and I just go, "Are you okay?" And I just kind of like put my hand over his
You
like
could-
face.
Eden will
And
go
just,
up
like,
and
look
pull
over
Finn,
and check
like
in.
is pulling Finn off of Art. Okay, you did that once already. Just-
Make imposing. Well, are you
Oh
gonna
my
are you
God.
gonna let Eden pick you up, or are you?
just
Hell no.
dragging, not
Yeah,
picking.
all right. Go
it's
ahead and make
dragging.
opposing athletics for Eden, acrobatics or athletics for Perrin.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. 16.
16.
Oh God, rollies.
Okay.
Do it again.
Natural 20.
16.
All right.
As she pulls to drag me, I like wiggle my little halfling legs out from under her, and I climb over Art and like cover his eyes. Then I open my mouth.
You hear in your in your head. That wasn't part of the deal. I can't split like I did just now, just a moment ago. That one was supposed to leave her and go to the goblin.
Fine. It's not my fault you're not fast enough then. You lose. And I will push my understanding to go back to Do Not Disturb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to bed now. And he just
what in the world?
walks off and just like unrolls the bedroll, lies down, and just like turns immediately away from everybody else.
Art,
Pe-
come here. I want you to
Parent.
sleep next to me.
Oh,
I want you to
okay.
sleep away from them.
Well,
Just in case the oozes try to get you. I think it'd be smarter if... Stay
okay.
over here.
Art's
Finn's gonna go. While that's happening, Finn is already going over to where Perrin is.
Yeah, kind of a very like sad look on his face, just like not kind of confused and not sure, but then does as Eden asks.
There was one time a teacher blew up an entire wing. That was easier to ignore than this.
Sorry. It's not our fault. And she's like still scurrying over to where Perrin is.
As part of the short, like as part of the rest period, I will, like, while they're sitting there, Eden's arm will start to grow little fuzzy white hair, and it will turn into the familiar white weasel. Her arm will slough off and regrow, and she's holding Grim while watching everything go down, and she's whispering to Grim, Grim, I mean, are you... Can Liren hear me?
It shrugs for people who may be listening to this on podcast eventually.
Well, I know you're summoned or something. If at some point, I don't know what to do with oozes. Just throwing that out there. Also, Grim, do me a favor. Can you go right behind the wall over where Ripley, you see that one over there? Can you go right behind where she is and just scratch on the wall really fast? Please give her.
Quick question, DM. Have I had enough rest yet?
Well, define what rest is, because I don't know if there has been any at this point.
I need 4 hours.
You need 4 hours? What? We're splitting it and you all need 8 hours. That's what? Shifts of 4? 4 hours? Something like that? I'd say yeah. Because you would have... yeah, the first one pretty much went on without a hitch. So you would have had the first 4 hours of sleep, correct?
Magic missile.
I can't get that high. I'm sorry.
That's Eden is screaming.
Oh. Yes, Grim is gone. Completely obliterated. Can we do damage just for
Yes.
shits
Well,
and
he just
gigs?
poofs.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, like he just poofs back into the Feywild.
Yeah.
Sorry. Alright, go back to sleep, Eden, like, sighs.
9 damage.
9 damage. Yeah, this thing's obliterated. It just...
And Art snuggles up with Dolkar and goes back to sleep.
Okay.
Finn is going to how is Perrin curled up into a ball, or
I would imagine as close to the fetal position as a halfling can get.
so Finn is going to basically like scooch down in order to basically like to hug him and to become Big Spoon. And then she's going to like kind of start rubbing his hair and just kind of playing with his hair. And she's singing, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away."
just hear like this big sigh that like leaves him. He doesn't say anything.
Doesn't continue singing after that point, but she just continues to try to hold him and caressing his hair.
Yeah, and he falls asleep.
Eden and Finara, with the events that just took place kind of harrowing the rest of your watch, silence taking the chamber and these tunnels and basements beneath the ruined tower. The rest of your watch goes on without a hitch. The two of you wake up Corvus, Professor Hale.
Eden will wake up Professor Hale using druid craft at their feet to make a prickly. If you're from where I'm from, she makes prickly goat head stickers grow up their leg.
I don't know what those are, but those sounded annoying.
Look them up. Hey Ripley, there's something wrong up your leg. Anyways, it's time for your watch. And then Eden goes and like back where Art is, like back in the corner away from everybody else sleeping. Also, stay away from us. And then she like curls down a little bit and like it goes like, and just is watching to see their reaction when get up.
Well, I'm wearing boots and pants.
I said grow up.
Okay.
It started as a sprout. Eden's good at this shit. It's like wrapped around your ankle.
I would say
Like
it's a
weighted.
mild nuisance. I just looked those up. Those are wow. I would not. I'm never going
Nope.
to Texas.
I grew up stepping on those. It's fun.
No, those are like D4s on steroids.
Yes, I know. I made a D4 with one in it for funsies.
Oh no.
It was a funny joke.
But yeah.
I'll take my other boot and just start scraping it off my
Very easy to do. It comes off
distractions all the time. So, are you awake? Wake up.
If you need help waking him up, I can make more stickers.
No, we're good. Corvus.
Awake.
All right, you don't need sight.
I do not. I also don't need much sleep in itself.
Yeah, I don't either. I've been up for hours. I find sleep distracting.
That is fair. Sleep can get you killed.
Or remind you of all the killing.
And at times a little bit of both.
How long have you been a bounty hunter?
Since I was a child.
It seems like an odd life choice.
You are a professor. I consider that an odd life choice.
Not to general society, but I understand your point.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, just so I am fully aware of the stakes here, would you be inclined to answer who hired you?
I only know of a name, or at least an affiliation. I believe it's, to my understanding, connected to Malthier, but I may be wrong. Whoever drops the coins in my pocket are who I work for.
I understand that. They do have their hands in a lot of cookie jars, as it were.
And I don't ask questions. I don't care to.
Understandable. Just like to know who I'm working with, is all.
You're working with an individual who was hired to deal with some form of an arcane caster, a wizard of sorts.
Do you have a description of this wizard?
They can cast spells.
That's loose.
It is.
I can cast spells.
Do you believe you have a bounty on your head?
It's not completely out of the realm of possibility, I suppose.
Then
But-
potentially you may be my target.
As far as I know, I have not been hunted so far. But I don't have all the answers I seek, so
Well, if you were my target, you would already be on your way to being brought in.
full disclosure, I part of me at least was a member of the Malthier Collective at one point.
A part of you. Like only
Difficult.
a limb.
A separate piece of my mental functions.
I see. Your mind is splintered.
Quite literally.
How many pieces?
4 that we know of so far.
Separated by a singular instance or developing over time?
Singular instance. An event.
I see. That is where we differ then.
Are you fragmented as well?
Mentally, no. Magically, yes.
That is extremely interesting.
I agree.
Singular event or multiple?
Multiple over time.
Also starting when you're a child?
Approximately.
I'm going to think on this.
I will say my events are correlated to death or what should have been death.
So you approach a death-like experience and come out on the other side fragmented magically.
In a sorts. I see my death when it should have happened and remember when I should have died. But my life seems to go back to the moment before that. And I continue on. It's like branches upon a timeline. And I recall every branch that I should have taken, at least the ones that would have ended my life.
So you're able to dictate your own reality.
More so, I am the outcome of the reality.
That you chose.
I did not choose it. For
You did
example,
not choose death.
when I was captured and overwhelmed, I remember dying, plainly. Yet instead I wake up imprisoned.
A choice was made. You're just not sure by whom.
That appears to be the case.
That is... If you're not too opposed to it, I would like to kind of explore that a little bit. That is strangely similar to my situation. admittedly different, but similar enough to be cause of interest. And I don't know if you want answers to your questions, but I want answers to mine, and I might find both.
Well, you have until I complete my mission. After that, you'll have to pay for my time.
Fair. I'm going to read now.
I have writing to do.
That's it.
I mean, that's the show, folks. All right, we're out.
That was beautiful.
No. But as you all continue to sleep, get your long rests that you can now officially click, you all find your deep sleep until Hale, sitting, reading your book, Corvus, writing. The door flies open after what feels like an eternity of you sitting in this eerily dead quiet facility. A half-elf woman standing at the door, almost in full splendor. Robes look neatly adorned. She has a wand on her belt, a book in hand, looks at all of you, motions, and 3 mage hands come in, along with 2 piles of books that seem to be carrying themselves, and just drop them over everybody. And she says, so, rest has been made. Now let's figure out what's going on in this fucking swamp city. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Do it.
Thank you. For everybody who's watching, please put the word barefoot in all lowercases. B-A-R-E foot. F-O-O-T, in case you don't know how to spell foot. For your chance to win an Umbral Oculus D20. We're going to go around the horn one more time. So my wonderful cast who spent the last 2 hours practically role-playing the fuck out of this session.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Come on, we're not doing that. Don't be sorry for having amazing roleplay. But Taryn, why don't you start us off?
Who? Oh, hi, I'm Taryn Hackett,
What's
also
a Taryn?
known as Val, also known as Valrook. Shifting over to my brand of Umbral Oculus. That's UO_dice on the Instagram. All of the dice things are there. Pictures, merch, store update coming soon. I do have some branding things that'll be shifting coming in the new year. I'm going to be doing a lot more things just under Umbral Oculus because dice aren't the only thing that I'm working on. So keep an eye out for those things. Every Monday on the initiative order, I play Vault, our Fallout TTRPG, where I play Miss Peggy Sue James. Every other Sunday on the initiative order, I scare the Peewo out of Ronan in casual in Far Realms, Cult Divinity Lost homebrew campaign, where the next episode is the final episode of Chapter 2. And that's what I do. I'm here being a Hexblood druid. Yuck.
Yeah. Renee.
Hello, everyone. I've been Renee Borgard, and I am the first person to cry on stream, which is like, not something I'll carry with me forever. I'm one half of Dragon Rock RPG Design, where me and my compatriot Daniel Lieberman make 5e supplements for Dungeons and Dragons. You can find our stuff at Dragon Rock RPG on Twitter, at Dragon Rock RPG Design on Instagram, and you can find all of our designs on DM's Guild. You can just search Dragon Rock RPG and we'll come right up. You can find our warlocks, our barbarians, and the Icons of Horror document that includes all bunch of types of subclasses that you can add to your games. They are pay what you want and or free documents, so please check them out and let us know what you think. And I will see you all in 2 weeks, where I hope not to cry again.
Before we head on to the wonderful Utahime. We really quick for those of you, because there's like a bunch of people in chat or in viewing, but not a lot of people who put barefoot. Make sure you follow first, so that way you can type in chat, and then you can get yourself an Umbral Oculus die. Now, Bree, take it away.
Hello, I am Utahime, and I did not say at the beginning of the stream who I played, so I will say it again. Finar Valar, your half sea elf, half halfling cleric of the party. I am a cosplayer and streamer and TTRPG performer. You can catch me on the social medias at Utahime Cosplay, and that's Facebook, Instagram, here on Twitch, where I occasionally stream on my own channel, a variety of games, and Brianna DeCosta on Twitter. And please be sure to tune in to Creators Assemble this Friday. I will be with a certain Mr. Just Too Casual for the finale of Agents of Nyx, and that's at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on Creators Assemble, and they've been raising money for a great cause, so please be sure to support. And again, as our Eden mentioned, Miss Taryn Hackett, I am also on Vault, our Fallout TTRPG, and that's every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time as well. So yes, please be sure to check out my social media if you want to see all the other things that I'll be doing, including my first guest appearance in a long time since the panoramic, and that's going to be taking place in January. So I'm looking forward to being able to see some of you lovely people in person very soon.
Our little Gabo, Eddie.
And hi everyone, yes, and I am your local Chaos Goblin Art, otherwise known as Eddie the Discount Bard. You can find me on all the various social medias at Discount Bard. I stream here on twitch.tv/discountbard, where I also do variety content, miniature painting, cooking, whatever my current hyperfixation at a given time happens to be. I am a voice artist, actor, jack of all trades, master of none, who spreads love, kindness, friendship through laughter and good stories. So follow me on the various socials and on TikTok to see what sort of shenanigans I'm up to. I also bounce around various channels on Twitch, like beautiful channels like this one, where I get to play Chaos Goblin Art here on Alternating Tuesdays. I'm also on That D'Angelo on Alternating Wednesdays, where I get to play a Shadow Magic Sorcerer. So fun stuff there. And other various projects that are soon to be coming up around the corner as well.
Oh, yeah, Jay, it's
That's
you. Yeah.
Oh,
that way.
I shall continue in my monotone approach of Corvus, the half-drow something. And that is who I played today as Jay, Casual. You can find me on all social media at Just Too Casual and Casual Creativity over on Twitch. Variety streamer, entertainer, all-around storyteller, and your best friend. And if not, we'll find a way to make it happen. I am also creating my own TTRPG, Deep Breath, the anime-inspired retrofuturistic urban fantasy setting where the old world of magic meets a new world of technology. You can experience the beautiful conflict that entails. Inhale anticipation, take a deep breath, exhale excitement. You can also catch me on, Creators Assemble this upcoming Friday for the finale of that amazing project where I'm playing one of my the custom species and classes from Deep Breath, the Dacron Bellator, inspired by the Titans from Attack on Titan and characters such as Goku, Vegeta, Akuma, Ryu, and other really beastie-like characters from all various anime where you get super powerful, and I'm just Super Saiyan. It's awesome. You also catch me over on Vault as that goes around, as I'm a ghoulish rock star. And I'm also on all other kinds of places. And I want to say, everyone, stay tuned for January. I will be releasing a small, quick start guide for Deep Breath, so you can get a chance to play some of the sample content yourself to your table. You can follow me on at Deep Breath RPG. That's DEEPBREADTH RPG on Twitter and Instagram for updates regarding all that. Casually, of course.
And last but not least, the other half of the Monotone Bros.
Yeah, I too have various pitch in my voice that I can do at any given time if I wanted to. So
Just needed to prove he could go there, guys.
Just wanted to
That's
say
not
it,
just
okay?
monotone, that's just Ronin, okay?
The little vibrato at the end really sold it right there. That was great.
I also let my hair down and realized that I'm like a bearded soccer mom. So
When did Jared Leto get on here? Are we joining a cult?
Yes, that's it.
At Rhoda Fox, at all those socials. I'm fucking awesome. Check me out. All right, that's it.
TikTok
Bye.
famous.
What's
TikTok,
a,
yeah.
what's a
Check them out on
cult?
TikTok.
What's a cult?
What's a cult?
What's a cult?
Yeah, all right, we're gonna do our thing.
Giveaway.
Yeah, for the giveaway, so I don't
Yeah.
forget. So I'm gonna close it in 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna pick our winner. And drum
Do
roll.
it.
Uke roll, please.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hey, would you look at that? Dell, congratulations. I already talked to you, so I will talk to you and get your information, actually, and then pass it along to or just reach out to Terry.
Yeah, it's also low-key an Eden-themed die, because I'm not selfish.
Well, isn't every die an Eden themed die?
No, this one literally has vines on the inside.
Ooh.
So I'm
Ooh.
waiting for the Corvus Special Edition Umbral Oculus die now.
It's just gonna be fucking gold.
First off,
It's
gotta be
pure
gold.
gold, guys.
24 karat Corvus. That makes sense.
I mean, I just
24
fun fact,
karat
Umbral
magic.
Oculus will be at some point in the near future releasing limited edition sets of these characters because it's something I've just been wanting to do. I'm just throwing that out there. It's gonna happen.
Deep breath. Stay tuned.
But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna.
Oh,
end
we're
our
raiding,
stream.
right?
Yeah, we're gonna raid Blackwater and D&D. They're doing a charity stream. I think, Perrin, you're a little bit more knowledgeable about what exactly.
Yeah,
they're
I
doing.
do.
Pitch them for us,
Yeah.
please.
Blackwater D&D is currently running a charity donation stream where they're trying to raise like $15,000 for a variety of different charities, as well as their own network themselves, because they have a lot of people who do a lot of things and they do fucking fantastic. So effectively, they're doing an entire stretch of streaming nonstop, 24 hours a day. And the more that people donate, the longer the stream goes. And they have their stream set to go for an entire week. So if you show up and give your Prime sub or are able to donate any kind of money or any subs whatsoever, it's going to a really great cause and some really wonderful people who do a great amount of work. I love Blackwater D&D. Last time I was over there, I played a game of DM Roulette, which is
Yes.
Jordan just recently did that too. So it is all kinds of fun. Blackwater D&D is a great place to hang out. So please go show them your love. Go give them their subs if you can. Donate something if you have the opportunity to. We will say hi when we get over there. And we all thank you so much for coming with us on this raid.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. Stay safe and happy adventures, everybody.
Good night, everyone.